Have you ever heard the saying, misery loves company? Well, it's a very old saying and it's entirely true. We're all just at the edge of our seats waiting for something to go wrong. And when something does go wrong, we just can't help but watch. And today's video is no exception. I want to share with you a nightmare story, a business story about a brand that was worth $4 billion not too long ago and has now sunk to $200 million. I guess it's not too bad, right? Negative 3.8 billion in growth is not so bad. But now this brand, not only did they just get shot down from, this crazy position that they were in, but now they're also getting sued for a misleading IPO. So this is an e-commerce business called Allbirds. And as you see, they're a beautiful brand. I feel like this brand is one of the most popular ones because they actually went public. So this is a great example of a Shopify store. I believe this is a Shopify store that went public. Now they have been making innovative shoes for some time now, just very, very comfy shoes. And this was one of the first newer shoe direct-to-consumer brands that came up. And let me show you that despite them getting sued and losing their $4 billion valuation, they're still doing very well, all things considered, right? Look, they're driving 2.4 million monthly visitors, and Shop Hunter here, we tracked $8.9 million in sales in the last 30 days, which is very, very accurate, given that they are doing about 80 to 100 million a year. We know that for a fact since they're a public company, so these Shop Hunter numbers are actually very accurate. I do find that Shop Hunter gets more accurate the longer the time frame is. But really what sparked up this video was this guy, his name is FanB. He posts a lot about direct-to-consumer acquisitions and things of that nature, and he posted this talking about how Allbirds stock is down from 4 billion at IPO to 200 million. So that's like a 90% decrease, and now getting sued for a misleading IPO. The filing states failure to disclose investors that the brand was overemphasizing non-core products which have had a narrower appeal than expected. So it's a bummer for everyone. A lot of people invested in this, and really the people that got the most screwed, obviously outside of the founders, are the VCs, the venture capitalists that invested in this, and the bankers. So that's what somebody said here. And I wanted to talk about this because there's a broader issue at play here, which is the issue of raising money. Every company, I feel like, is in a race to raise the most money. And that can come with a lot of issues, right? I mean, that comes with a lot of pressure, a lot of different opinions that may not be suited for your vision, right? And while having a lot of money does give you a huge edge, I think it does come with a lot of downside, especially if you can't sustain that growth, as we've seen from Allbirds. Now, like they're saying, the stock is up 10% since the news of them being sued, which is just weird. It just shows that the stock market behaves in such weird ways. And the reason why is because human nature is flawed, right? Like humans are just weird creatures and we just don't behave logically all the time. So that's why it's so hard to actually be a good investor, or at least a good trader. Being a good investor is not that hard, really. It's really all about buying companies and just not really selling them and buying them when other people are selling. There was actually a quote here in the Ecommerce Lab Mastermind. We actually did a whole summary on the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting with Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And there was a really good quote from Warren Buffett, actually, that says, "What gives people opportunities is other people doing dumb things." And the way that I interpret that is basically when other people sell really good companies because they are panicking because the company is going down or whatever, and they're scared and they sell, that's your opportunity to capitalize on their dumbness and buy a company at a great discount. So that's a little bit of an investing caveat there. I've been a big fan of investing for a while, so I like to talk about it. This channel is really to talk about all things business and entrepreneurship, and I think investing is part of that. But in the last year, I've been looking into so many different e-commerce companies. I've studied this landscape in so much detail, and I've learned so much about funding. And basically every big e-commerce company has hundreds of millions of dollars in funding, which looks really good on paper, but I can imagine it comes with a lot of complications that we don't talk about. And, you may feel super successful to raise a ton of money, but as you see, it's possible that some people are getting ahead of themselves, raising money a little too fast, going public a little too fast. Perhaps the move is just to keep your company private and just keep it growing. Honestly, I'm not sure, but I just thought this was a very interesting negative $3.8 billion e-commerce story here. So I wanted to share with you guys. Like I said, misery loves company. If any of you know a lot about the venture capital world, if you raise money, if you have a company that's doing really well, hit me up. I would love to learn more about it, and perhaps we could work together through my agency. And if you want to join my closed community, it's a bit more exclusive, a little bit more serious, but also very fun at the same time, then check out akemilab.ai. It's our community and research company. It's super cool, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. But that's really about it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.